Oh shit! Hey!
Yo, what's up everybody? JP Too Much St. Louis here. I'm going to be cooking a meal from one of my favorite video games, Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
And I have all my ingredients laid out, but just wanted to give a quick intro. I recently had an increase in followers on IG from a cooking video I did. I'll go and stitch that right in here. And kind of brought my Instagram up in followers, and it was something that I did for fun. Now I want to just keep on making these fun videos for everybody to enjoy. One of my favorite hobbies outside of fighting is cooking, and I'm going to be introducing recipes from, you know, Monster Hunter or Zelda or Stardew Valley, so that's just something to be on the lookout for. And I just have my Combat Knight 170 belt here, just sitting there looking pretty. Something nice to look at other than myself. Alright, hope you guys enjoy, and the meal is going to be gourmet poultry pilaf. Can't believe I f***ed that up. But alright, enjoy. My wife had suggested that I make something from Breath of the Wild since it's one of our favorite games, and at first I wasn't sure I'd want to, but I decided to push myself and be creative. So what you're seeing here is the Instagram Reel version of the gourmet poultry pilaf, but since it's in short form, I don't get to show you the whole process. I wanted to create a longer video, so if anybody ever wanted to recreate this meal, they could do so by just following what I did. All the game footage is from me actually playing and hunting and gathering to make this meal, so I can make it look more realistic, and I hope you guys enjoy. I got my non-organic chicken quarters here ready to be cleaned and prepped. I already cut the excess chicken skin off, and I'll just be using that for like a later recipe. And now I have my lime and vinegar for the cleaning process. And I know that this is a heavily debated topic, but personally, I just feel better when I do it. And I'm Haitian too, so I'm not trying to have everybody attack me for showing me cooking some chicken and the meat isn't clean. I'm just not trying to deal with that, and sorry. I personally feel a little bit better when I do clean the meat, but sometimes I really just don't have time for all that, and I just want to make something real fast. And if you're Haitian, you know that every dish can end up taking hours, and sometimes you just want to make a quick meal. So anyway, back to the gourmet poultry pilaf. I squeeze the rest of this lime juice on there, and then once that's done, I go and get the white distilled vinegar, and I'm going to go and squeeze. Well, not squeeze, I'm going to go and pour the white distilled vinegar on the chicken. And then I go and top it off with some naranja acarija. And if you're Caribbean or Haitian, you should know all about this. But that's pretty presumptuous because I was not in all y'all's kitchen. This is just something that my mom used when she would be cleaning the chicken. So it's something that I use. Don't really know what it provides, but I like it, and it just kind of has a nostalgic feeling to it. So next, I'm just gonna rub the chicken using my fingers. Usually I would use a lime, but I don't have any of that, so I'm just kind of picking some of the things off and then rubbing the chicken on each other before I go and rinse it off. So I cut one yellow onion, and then I go and dice that. I've gotten a lot better with my knife holding skills and how I cut, so I'm pretty proud of that. You can use any onion you want, I just like yellow onions. So next up, I'm going to start sprinkling some of the salt on my chicken. I'm using kosher salt. I don't think it really matters. I just like this one, and it was cheap where I got it. So I'm going to sprinkle on the skin side first, and then I go and start bringing out my seasonings. We have black pepper, we have cumin, and then we have turmeric for the color. I have Italian seasoning, paprika, then onion powder, garlic powder. This is kind of all you need. So I'm going to sprinkle all these on in whatever order I did. Unfortunately, I don't have exact measurements that I actually used, but I will provide some of the instructions in the description for the video. I just season until I feel like that's enough, until I have one of my ancestors put their hand on my shoulder and like, you've done well, my child. But I try to make sure that the sodium content isn't too high because I do try to be healthy on a regular basis. And now after putting all the seasoning, I sprinkled on some mustard, and I wish I would have done it earlier, but it is what it is. I just hate getting my fingers messy with stuff afterwards. I pressed the bottom onto the top to try to get some of the seasoning, realizing that I forgot, but it didn't work, so I actually just sprinkled a little bit with the other hand so there's no cross-contamination. And you know, they say, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. Even though I've never said that in my life, I'm just saying that for the video. But yeah, get it nice and seasoned. You don't have to do too much. You just want to have it nice and colored. So I got the parchment paper and I put that in. Got to get some last minute seasoning on there. Put it into the pan and then put the chicken onto the parchment paper. And then I go and get everything else ready. I got my oven set to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And I let them bake for about 35 to 45 minutes. Now I have my onions. I put some olive oil in and I'm cooking the onions until they're translucent, about 3 minutes, and then poured in my washed white rice. Yes, wash your white rice, please. And I went and mixed it all in so everything's incorporated, the oil, the onions, for about 1 minute, and then I put in some turmeric, did the same thing until all the pieces are coated. This really helps with the coloring. I add in 2 cups of chicken stock for my 1 cup of white rice. I let it come to a boil and I put the lid on and turn the heat down to low so it can simmer for 10 minutes before I take it back off. Add in the frozen peas and carrots, mix that up, and I'm gonna let it cook for another 10 minutes on that low setting. You want to put it on low because you don't want the rice to start burning and things start sticking more than they need to. So I go and put the lid back on, and like I said, another 10 minutes before everything should be done. The chicken is ready, but I just wanted to have a little bit more color, so I put it under the broiler. The chicken was fine. I just ended up letting the parchment paper get a little too close to the broilers, but mistakes happen. I take the lid off the rice and don't know where I want to put it for the video's sake, and finally get it together and do my final fluff for the rice. As you can see, looks good, not too much sticking. So I turn off the heat to the stove. I eventually turn it off to the broiler and I do my presentation, my link jump, and I go and dig in. The food is just as good as it looks, and be on the lookout for more cooking videos. Please like, subscribe, and watch more.